Council President Andrew Friedson. I'm Jordan Lindsay. Reporters, if you still need permission to record, please note that in the chat. And if you have any questions, you can note that in the chat as well, or raise your hand and I will call on you accordingly. Now I'll toss it to Council President Andrew Friedson for opening remarks. Council President, to you.
Good morning. Thank you, Jordan. Thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. I hope that it was restful and reflective and relaxing. I certainly know that many of us needed it as we start the holiday season and reflect on everything that we are grateful for. We also recognize that there are many residents facing significant challenges, not only in our community, but around the country. In light of changes coming from the federal level, we'll rely on one another more than ever before. And our country needs Montgomery County to lead and to protect the way that we go about our business, the way that we look after one another, the values that we all share more than ever before. I'm confident that we will rise to the occasion to meet this moment, that we will band together like never before. And I'm optimistic that this will give us an opportunity, though there are many challenges ahead, to show our mettle in Montgomery County. Our community is truly an exceptional one. I am so honored and humbled to be able to serve and represent the only place I've ever called home. As I wind down on my year as council president, I want to thank my colleagues for allowing me this awesome privilege to serve and to lead this council. While we may not have always agreed on every issue, we were able to find common ground with humility by focusing on the common good of the residents who we are privileged enough to serve. I also want to recognize the tremendous work of my partner in this effort, Council Vice President Kate Stewart, who has been just a great friend and confidant and colleague throughout. And also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge my extraordinary team of public servants in my council office who really rose to many challenges to address the issues that came before us this year, some expected and some certainly unexpected, some council related and some in my own personal life and in theirs. But Cindy Gibson, my chief of staff, as well as Matt Higgins, Warren Hanson, Andrew Resnick, and Angela Gear, they have gone above and beyond the call of duty in service to Montgomery County residents. I am so deeply grateful for everything that they have done and continue to do this year and as we move forward in the months ahead. Additionally, I want to express my appreciation to each of you for showing up to these media availabilities, for telling the stories that make up the rich tapestry of our community, for reporting on tough issues, for asking tough, probing questions that needed to be asked to help inform our residents. Journalism is a truly essential part of our democracy, and freedom of the press is critical to maintaining a balance of power in government. We need you now more than ever as the landscape of local media has gotten more and more challenging. And so I appreciate you. I know our residents appreciate you, and we certainly need you. So thank you, since you don't hear it nearly enough, and please be assured that the council and our community respects, values, and deeply appreciates all of your hard work and your continued efforts. Now, shifting gears, yesterday was Rosa Parks Day. Montgomery County honors the civil rights hero who refused to give up her seat while riding in Montgomery, Alabama. Tomorrow, we will present a council proclamation commemorating that day in Montgomery and the public bus protest that took place, led by Councilmember Sales and Joando, to honor Rosa Parks' life of activism and her courage and everything that it meant for our country and for our community here in Montgomery County. Her act of defiance helped to change the trajectory of our entire nation. While we know that there is much more work to do, as a community, we continue to stand united in advancing racial equity and social justice in Montgomery County and beyond. Tomorrow, the council will also elect its new officers to represent the council as president and vice president for the next one-year term. I want to take some time to share some of the things I am most proud of that we were able to accomplish during this past year as I served as president. And it starts with the basics of a good quality of life: education, economic development, public safety, and affordable housing. I am very proud of the progress we've made on all of these fronts. On the education front, we approved the county's $7.1 billion budget and funded our public schools at a record $3.3 billion. And for the first time ever, we included transparency and accountability metrics in the budget resolution to ensure that every dollar goes to its best and highest use, where its greatest needs are for our students and for our families. We also added dedicated funding for positions in the Office of the Inspector General, solely focused on MCPS oversight. And we ensured that we provided the level of accountability and oversight and transparency that our students, our families, our educators, and our taxpayers expect and deserve. We also have done a great job to develop the county's economic development by proudly welcoming hundreds of new businesses to the county, growing a thriving private sector economy. I'm very proud that the council unanimously passed my $20 million new jobs initiative, the largest economic development package of its kind in county history, with three important funds, one on new job creation, one on innovation, and one on founders' equity, to make sure that we are investing in new and emerging entrepreneurs, that we are investing in places that have historically lacked adequate access to private capital, and that we're making a loud statement that if you are willing to invest in Montgomery County, that Montgomery County is ready to invest in you. We've also doubled down on our global strength in life sciences by reimagining the Great Seneca Life Sciences Corridor as a livable, walkable community, and continued our historic partnership with the University of Maryland's Institute for Health Computing, which we celebrated the second anniversary with a ribbon cutting last week. And we expanded the MOVE program to address commercial office vacancies and increased opportunities for veteran-owned businesses. Because there's no greater responsibility than keeping our community safe, we have leveraged new technologies to address police shortages and improve response times, including expanding the highly successful Jonas First Responder program from the pilots in Silver Spring and Wheaton to Bethesda and the Up County, and funded the Real-Time Crime Intelligence Center as a partnership among residents, businesses, and law enforcement. We also provided even more resources for county houses of worship and nonprofits so that all residents in our community can freely and securely live, learn, and worship in Montgomery County. The council also made strides in promoting more housing for more people, including more affordable housing near transit hubs. I was proud to lead efforts to establish a new $50 million nonprofit preservation fund, and work closely with Council Vice President Kate Stewart and our colleagues to pass legislation allowing for houses of worship to build affordable housing on their land. That built on efforts in the prior council that I was able to work on to leverage county-owned land for housing, and also to expedite the process to build affordable housing in Montgomery County. And we also broke ground on major developments made possible by several previous legislative efforts that I had sponsored, like the Hillendale Gateway Project, which is the largest net zero multifamily community in Maryland, and Strathmore Square, a transit-oriented development that turns a former Metro parking lot into a world-class community with thriving arts and vibrant trail access. And we did all of this while holding the line on taxes and continuing our ongoing investments in climate and housing, protecting our most vulnerable residents, bolstering the economy to expand our tax base, and increasing funding to keep our community safe. In response to the upcoming changes at the federal level next year, the council and county executive are hosting a United in Service and Support Community Resource Fair on Sunday, December 8th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Executive Office Building in Rockville. Been pleased to work with the executive branch and with council colleagues on this effort, which is a free community resource fair that will provide residents with a wide range of information about public health and wellness, including reproductive rights, job skills training and contracting, and available resources so residents understand and know what is available to them and what their rights are. We encourage residents to join us and ask that you help us spread the word about this upcoming event. We will not let anything that is said or done in Washington undermine the progress that we have made or eliminate the protections and the services that we provide for our community members in Montgomery County. Together, we stand unified with our community partners and residents and recommit ourselves to making sure that Montgomery County remains an outstanding place to live, work, worship, and raise a family. Despite the significant challenges that may come in the years ahead, I am more optimistic than ever before that our long-term possibilities in Montgomery County far outweigh these near-term problems, because I know who we are and I know what we stand for in Montgomery County. I am eternally grateful for our community to be able to serve it and to be able to live in it. And I look forward to continuing in this important work in the months and the years ahead together with you. As I close out my term as council president, I am very excited to announce that the Executive Office Building in Rockville will be officially renamed in honor of former county executive and council member and council president, Isaiah Ike Leggett. The renaming is the result of a recommendation I made with enthusiastic support from all of my council colleagues, which led to an executive order signed by County Executive Elrich. I have very much appreciated the collaboration with the executive and our council colleagues on this fitting tribute to a true local statesman. Throughout his 28 years as county executive, council president, and council member, Ike guided us with a steady hand through the most devastating financial crisis in our history and forged a path for others to follow as a trailblazer who rose from poverty to the highest levels of government, law, and academia. As we rename the Executive Office Building for Ike Leggett, someone who embodies servant leadership and public service, we hope it will be an enduring reminder of what government at its absolute best can and should be for the benefit of the public and for those who serve them. Mr. Leggett was the first African-American elected to the council, where he served 4 terms and went on to become the first African-American elected to serve Montgomery County executive in 2006, a position he held for 3 terms. Throughout his tenure, he focused on ensuring that every part of our diverse community had a seat at the table and a voice in decision-making that would affect their lives. Ike has a prestigious academic background, including a Master's of Arts and Juris Doctorate from Howard University and a Master of Law from George Washington University. The formal naming ceremony and unveiling of the new signage will be held in February 2025 during Black History Month, a fitting and symbolic time to make this very important recognition of somebody who many of us, including me, consider to be a mentor and a guiding light of what our public service can be and what our public service should be and who we strive to emulate in the way we go about our business. With that, I'm happy to turn it back to you, Jordan, and open it up to any questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Council President Friedson. Reporters, a friendly reminder, if you have any questions, please note that in the chat or you can raise your hand and I will call on you accordingly. I don't see any questions or comments in the chat right now. I'll give you a few moments. Any questions or comments? Going once, going twice, 3 times. Okay, back to you, Council President. Thank you.
Thanks again. I really appreciate all of the coverage, all of the questions, all of your work throughout this year. Look forward to continuing that partnership and that relationship as we move forward, and look forward to closing out my council president term and continuing on moving forward for the rest of this council term. Thanks a lot, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.